normal people become terrified of criminals.
Shots were just fired. Police just came out and told us, and we're headed there right now.
They become terrified of their own government.
Elon Musk's Media Matters lawsuit will have a chilling effect. Musk has filed his thermonuclear suit against Media Matters for America at the same time the Texas AG launched an investigation into the nonprofit. Now, this we saw yesterday. Of course, there's a bunch of updates today. It's slowly moving. I think the fact that the AG is going for criminal charges against these organizations is particularly interesting. But here's what was interesting this morning. And this is something I don't see a lot of people writing up just yet, but it's something that must be covered. Google search Elon Musk and click news. And what do you get? Well, what's the biggest story? I mean, this is a massive lawsuit. You've got a massive boycott. X is being slammed by major advertisers to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. But, you know, that story falls to second stage. The top story right now is far-right conspiracy theorist accused 22-year-old Jewish man of being a neo-Nazi. Then Elon Musk got involved. Aspiring lawyer sues Elon Musk. Jewish student sues Elon Musk. All of a sudden, all of these different outlets, a bunch of different outlets, start running a story instead that Elon Musk is being sued for. This is the crazy thing about this story. Let me show you this. CNN runs this. This is last night at 10:12 p.m. It was updated. That's a couple hours after he launches the story. Now, news that this dude was suing Elon Musk is from, I believe, mid-October or early October. Here's what they write. Ben Brody says his life was going fine. He had just finished college, stayed out of trouble, and was prepping for law school. Then seemingly out of nowhere, Elon Musk uses his considerable social media clout to amplify an online mob's misguided rant, accusing the 22-year-old from California of being an undercover agent in a neo-Nazi group. That's completely false. That's actually very, very false. Elon Musk replied to someone vaguely referencing a guy who was in college and wanted to work for the government. And no one accused the individual of being an undercover agent in a neo-Nazi group. They accused these people, all of them, of being undercover agents, period, in a fake Nazi group. Now, whatever. What I can say is define coordinated, I suppose. When a bunch of media outlets all run this story and it shoves down the big news and covers it up, it's kind of like every time, what was the thing that was happening every time Hunter Biden, was caught doing something? Aliens were proven to exist.
Yeah, I mean, just this week, they an example of this is like he launches the rocket, the Starship. He gets up, the largest spacecraft in history, makes the separation successfully and gets into space. And I try to look up the news, and it's all like, Elon Musk fails with rocket because it blows up, or
lies.
Yeah, it's just straight up false. It's one of the most successful moments in history. So and all the headlines are he failed.
They're all lies. This was the first launch, or it wasn't the first launch. SpaceX launched something a year ago or whatever.
Yeah. All
the media reports, shocking failure, rocket explodes. SpaceX intentionally blew it up. Yep. They were doing the launch to collect data. So SpaceX launches Starship. They did the exact same thing. They launched it to collect data because they have to build a rocket. How do you do it? Well, you have to build prototypes, try them, see where they fail, collect the data, and then the safety measure is you blow them up.
Yep.
And the media reports that he's a failure. It's not working. This is crazy.
And then at the same time, this whole entire anti-Semitic thing comes out.
Mm-hmm. Or they're covering his custody battle with Grimes a lot right now. To paint him as this
it's just like
terrible,
endless,
immoral person.
The last time you had us here, it was a Fabian Martin story about Sound of Freedom, that the financier of Sound of Freedom was a sex trafficker. And it was a guy who is totally exonerated later on, but he was all over the press and his face was everywhere. And they were trying to take that film down.
He was also like one of 100,000 investors, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was one of thousands
and he
of
was
investors.
Like a landlord.
$50.
Wow.
He gets accused of an accessory to kidnapping, and then the judge was like, I don't know how you're an accessory to kidnapping because there's no even charge for kidnapping. But somebody went into the theater, screenshotted all the investor names because that's the only place you can get them, then digitized them.
Wow.
Then cross-checked them across all the local criminal databases to find one guy who had been accused of a kidnapping. And then the headline is financier, $50 investor of thousands, of Sound of Freedom arrested for kidnapping children. Mm-hmm. I'm in London I have my Angel shirt on. I'm at this TSA security in London. I don't know what they call it there. And one of the security guys comes up and says, "Oh, I have tickets to your movie." And he's like, "Are you the producer?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm not the producer. I'm a distributor." He's like, "Oh, good, because the producer apparently is like a kidnapping kids."
Well, now they're going after Tim Ballard with all these stories, which sound completely insane. But I got to tell you, man.
But you get like what's happening here is very common.
So what did you do personally, and what do you advise people to do when the media does run stuff like that?
There was a really wise one of the executive producers on one of the films that was coming up. He's in his 90s, very successful businessman, and he just called and said, "Guys, when everybody's shooting at you, get in the foxhole, or else you'll get shot."
Well, there you go.
So don't
But
make noise, basically. Stay calm and keep.
I don't know though. You look how look what the media does. They say the best defense is a good offense. When Elon Musk goes after Media Matters and is exposing what I believe expands the government collusion narrative in the censorship industrial complex, we've got the releases from the Republican Party. We know about the releases from the Twitter files. Now Elon Musk is going after Media Matters, and they're saying they have data, hard proof that Media Matters fabricated the claims against them to try and get advertisers to pull out. What does the media do? Immediately launch a totally different story to attack Elon Musk to drown it out.
Yep.
So I'm kind of wondering if perhaps in World War I style trench combat, you're getting shot at, you get down.
That's a good point.
But perhaps in the world of PR and media, what Elon Musk needs to do is layer on another story immediately. Now, the issue, of course, is will the press even cover it?
Or will they let the search terms be accurate, right?
And here's the thing. I think it's probably Google. Look, why are people writing in this story? I think it's very weird that CNN chose to write a month-and-a-half old story and just publish it right now with vague and misleading language. What do we call that? We call that malinformation. Mm-hmm. It's technically the truth, but it's not actually what's going on. And then other outlets pick it up because this is what they do. Google knows, put this on top. So when it appears at the top of Google, when you search for Elon Musk, I think it's a big tech play. And I think big tech is colluding with the government because we've already seen hard proof they've been doing it.
Or that the advertisers are coordinating and they all advertise on Alphabet and on whatever companies are posting this CNN, and all these people are getting that same ad money that pulled out of Twitter, and they're working. I don't know if they're just bystanders in this or if they're complicit.
I think it's difficult for people as an individual to combat the tech giants, and especially anyone controlling a search engine if they want to. I mean, I'm gonna reference Taylor Swift. I know you guys were all waiting for it, but when she started dating Travis Kelce, she went to a New York Jets game. Before that, when you Google Taylor Swift Jet, it talked about all of these articles from 2 years before talking about her carbon footprint and how bad it was. And people thought she has engineered this relationship to get to this game, so it completely changes what shows up when you Google these terms. I mean, the challenge here is that Elon Musk is now up against the people who want CNN's article to be at the front. So even if he were able to get some big headline, he had sympathetic journalists take on his story, cover it accurately, it doesn't mean that the search term, the way the algorithms work out will be evenly applied to him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I think I like your metaphor about get down, duck, and cover when the incoming enemy fire is happening, and this is like when people are writing crappy articles about you, like don't make noise because you're going to look guilty. But that's important. Why you have allies to fire on the position that's attacking your foxhole to lighten the fire.
Yeah,
so you
That's right. That's right.
And that's our job essentially right now. Is what we're doing is we're exposing this weird algorithm.
These people are evil. That's it. I mean, Twitter and Facebook running backdoors, allowing the government to come in and basically get content removed. It's unconstitutional.
It's just like deep corruption.
Deep corruption. It is pure corruption, and it is overt evil. These people are doing it for personal gain. That's just it.
Man, we were talking about free speech. I interviewed Josie, the redheaded libertarian, today on my YouTube channel. We were talking about free speech and how like the ability for a private company just to shut off a bunch of people's ability to communicate, or the way certain aspects of my communication with you might not show up. Like we wrote a constitution and fought a revolution to avoid that from happening. We had the king pressing down on our necks collectively and disallowing us from speaking out in public. No more, never again. That was the point.
But this also happens with companies that control banks, right? I mean, PayPal can say, I don't like what you're talking about online. You can no longer use our service, which makes it actually difficult to do a lot of business interfacing. This is true of MailChimp. This is true of a ton of different companies that decide we don't want to be associated with you because we have a vague terms of service.
That's like the next level is when it's transactions. That is the next level. Like that's the deeper level below free speech. That's the foundation. If you don't have the freedom to
Can't
transact,
Yeah.
then you're like, what can you do?
I just think
it's like the truckers in Canada. They just shut them down.
I just think we're winning across the board in every way. I mean, we got a super chat a moment ago, and they were like, how could the Democrats even put someone else on the primary ballot because it's too late in several states? Biden can't win. The dude's completely out of his mind. He's losing support among the Hollywood elites. Michael Rappaport says he's going to vote for Trump, or he's considering voting for Trump. I mean, this is crazy. Elon Musk filing the lawsuit, everybody's going on offense. And I can tell you this too, ladies and gentlemen, I can't say too much because in legal issues, you got to keep things pretty quiet until you make your moves. But there is so much more happening behind the scenes. I'll just put it this way: many phone calls have been happening, and there's a lot of prominent individuals who are like, "This is war." There was a post recently where someone suggested that any prominent influencer on Twitter should file an amicus brief or join the lawsuit Elon Musk is filing. Because guess what, everybody? You know that money you were making on Twitter?
Oh, wow.
It's gone. It's all gone. So when I was getting $2,000 to $3,000 every 2 weeks, maybe about $5,000 a month, gone. So Media Matters did not just smear and defame Elon Musk's platform,
It's huge
but it's
damages.
stripping revenue from everybody through
Huge
fraudulent
damages.
means.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot, and there's a lot more than that. So
Yeah, Media Matters is the worst.
We're still spending a lot with X.
How's it been?
That's good, yeah.
How's the engagement been?
Well,
It's great.
This is interesting. With Sound of Freedom was the first time that, and this is within months after, a very short time after Elon acquired Twitter, is that our main investors, GigaFund, that's invested in SpaceX, invested in a whole bunch of Elon companies. They called us and they were like, "Hey, how can we improve the system?" So they're working very hard to improve the Twitter advertising system, and it's working. Like Twitter has not had a competitive leg that even comes close to competing with Facebook for targeted ads and direct response ever. And now they're starting to compete. Like advertisers need to be aware it's worth taking time to invest in Twitter now.
Right.
Part of the reason why Sound of Freedom was successful was because Twitter figured out how to make ads work, and they're getting better and they're getting better and better. And so I think that Twitter just has to survive the dip, and then they'll climb back out of it because they're actually innovating. They're actually making changes, and they're listening to the audience and the customers. And so for us, we spend where it works. And I think that if we can do it, I mean, we're known, Harmon Brothers, known for doing Poopery, Squatty Potty, Purple Mattress, Lumi Deodorant, these billion-dollar CPG companies and mattress companies, and these, like this, I can tell you, Twitter is starting to figure it out.
we're going to be doing a big ad push in the beginning of next year. We're already doing big ads for Infringed, our latest documentary by Lauren Southern and John Tutois. And when they announced they were pulling out, it was Seth Dillon who started the cascade saying, we're going to commit $250K. I said, I'm on board. And it's just the easiest marketing play in the world. Join in the fun, everybody. By announcing we're doing an ad buy, we get 10 times the press from the ad buy. So like, let me just stress, I want to buy ads on X. We did. We were already buying ads. We created a $50,000 budget for Infringed and launched that campaign. And we are having some issues, so I need someone from Twitter's help. But
we can make some connections.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because I don't know, I something weird's happening in the back end, but I digress. So when Seth Dillon's like, hey, we're gonna do this thing, I was like, well, we're already advertising on X. We already want to do more. Let me just announce that I too will be doing this and join their efforts.
That's exactly right.
And then I get articles written about me. So standing up for what I believe in results in 10 times the press we would have gotten just off the ad campaign alone. The tweet announcing the ad campaign got 7,000 retweets. So it's just the marketing writes itself. You know, this idea I had a long time ago. Marketing should do something good. It reminds me of that movie Hancock, where Jason Bateman's character is like, everyone puts the heart on their brand. I'm like, well, that's kind of dumb. My idea was companies should compete with how much they can accomplish ideologically in alignment with their values. So, for instance, instead of spending $50 million doing this nationwide campaign where you hire a celebrity to throw a football, you spend $50 million investing in roads, schools, or, veterans, like helping veterans or nonprofits. And then instead of doing this big commercial where a celebrity throws a football. You just do a commercial where it's a guy standing in front of like a VA saying, instead of spending $50 million on throwing a football, we just gave it to wounded veterans to help those. And I'm like, that's the kind of marketing we should be doing, competing with each other to do the most good. So I'm like, if I can buy ads to promote Timcast.com and the projects we're doing, and it has the added benefit of winning the culture war, man, I'll spend all my money. Let's roll.
You make me
Let's
think
get
of
it done.
Mr. Beast. He'll actually
Right.
take cameras in and show the people crying with joy from tasting fresh water for the first time in their lives and things. And you may argue it's exploiting the people that are getting the video taken of them,
He's
but
giving away wells.
And they attacked him for it. The media came after him.
Well, he's an oppressive figure trying to help people. It's
I can
crazy.
guarantee he's anything but. And you should watch his video where he brings 100 wells to people that are starving of fresh water, essentially dying, having distended stomachs, and these little kids. This fly is driving me nuts. Are you guys watching?
It's attacking
same
everybody.
thing.
Anyone that starts to talk, it's like I feel the heat.
It's a hostile work
It goes
environment.
straight to the speaker.
Holy crap. I just swatted and didn't squeeze. I had like some sympathy for
What
the
if we just
thing.
open
Not
the
next
door and
time.
cross our fingers that he leaves?
Yeah, I'll do that.
There you go. Yeah, the fly's attacking everybody.
Fun while it lasted, fly.
Well, he's gone.
Buzz off.
What were you saying, Ian? Before
Some awesome thing. Oh, about Mr. Beast. He was just showing video of these kids, and I mean, if you've ever spent time with kids in like an impoverished nation, and you see them, the kids that drink poop water, basically the same river water that they drink out of, they poop into. It's sad because their stomachs are fat and bloated. I saw it in South America when I was in Peru, and they're so happy people because they didn't know, but once they found out, they were livid, and it's just to be able to help people, children especially.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.